Hello everyone, and welcome to the Double Downforce Spanish Grand Prix. So, continuing on with this series then, when I modify the F1 2018 game to make for some fun races along with the real F1 calendar, I have doubled the downforce for this particular track, and it's an interesting one actually. So for some reason the AI aren't affected by it, so we will be setting up a couple of rules for ourselves. Rule number one is that we can only overtake around the outside, and rule number two is that we can't overtake until the end of the first sector. So a few rules there just to spice it up a little bit. I'm not too sure why the AI don't seem to react. I actually modded all of their cars to have double downforce, but they just don't seem to use it. So a little bit odd, just perhaps a sort of a limitation of the AI there. But to be fair, this is the first issue I found in this whole series. They've always made good use of the double power and all that sort of thing. So yeah, fair play to them. But anyway, makes quite a good video nonetheless. And just coming off the start now again, not going to overtake till the end of the first sector, and then we're only going to overtake around the outside. We're in the Sauber Alfa Romeo of Charles Leclerc, and we are going to see how far we can get up. So already then adjusting my ERS, ready to go on the outside. Hopefully have a few cars here, but just getting so slow. And here we go then. So trying to dive on the outside now. There's two cars already. Look at the third, but no, think better of that. Going to go to the outside of the next one instead. But all they bring very early and almost catch by surprise. We're going to try and get back on the power and get on the outside of them. All pretty close stuff, but just squeezing right out to the curb and just managed to get past them, I think. Oh, there's slightly less alongside. So I'll break them here now though. Dive up the outside, almost said inside there, and already up to P16 and P20 then. So does give you quite a significant advantage, obviously, having double downforce, but the interesting thing for me is that it doesn't feel like double quick. I guess that's because there's a lot more variables involved. You know, you've got the tire grip, of course, comes into it, the drag level, you know, the marbles, all that sort of thing. There's lots and lots of other physics that come into it, so just doubling up on your downforce, I don't think literally makes the car twice as fast. It's just not as simple as that. You've got car weight as well, of course. But making a few little mistakes there, just trying to adapt to this. This is only my second attempt, and the previous attempt was in a Mercedes, which I will show towards the end of this video. Just a few laps from that, because yeah, there's a reason I use the Sauber, because the Mercedes is absolutely insane with double downforce. And I will say as well, it feels incredible. All of these cars feel so good with double downforce on this game. It just sort of feels like how it looks more on real F1, interestingly. You know, like there, you can just dive up the outside. It's much easier, and it's easier on the throttle and everything. It just feels more planted, how you more imagine an F1 car would feel with all this downforce. But anyway, already gained one position. Going to try and go on the outside of Stoffel Van Dorn, and look at that. That was so easy. Just float around the outside with no worries at all. Grosjean has to wait for him to go to the inside, and there we go. Going to try and go on the outside with him, just get on the power early in them, which we managed to do again. And it's interesting, of course, because this is double downforce. The slower speed corners, oh, we're getting held up by Magnus in there. The slower speed corners are not much different to them, so very similar pace in the slower speed corners. But the quicker the corner is, the quicker I am than them, relatively, obviously. So not quite managing to go on the outside of Magnus in there. But we're going to try and dive on his outside in the braking zone, out braking massively. They're very close to hitting Alonso in the McLaren, running a little bit wide. They get a lot of wheel spin. They're trying to go on the outside of this corner, and we do manage to make the move stick just about up to P12 now of P20. So we're fairway up the grid, just trying to get outside Alonso into that corner. I don't think even I expected that one to work out, but I thought I'd go for it anyway. Having to be aggressive. This is only a 5-lap race, so really having to push hard and just be as aggressive as I possibly can to try and get past some of these guys. Go into rich fuel and overtake ERS deployment just to try and stay ahead of Alonso. And you see there his draggy car, even with the slipstream. He hasn't got a DRS yet, but even with the slipstream, just not able to get past me, so we're going to be able to outbrake him massively. And actually had to make a few corrections there, because we were about to smash into the back of Ocon. Such was our pace into that corner, and just easily floating on the outside there. Unfortunately, as soon as you do get alongside, the AI do tend to sort of slam on the brakes a little bit, which is a little bit annoying, but can't do a lot about that really. So anyway, where we're now with P10 now, Hulkenberg up ahead, so we're now into the points. And again, I just wanted to get the inside there, but my rule there just holding me back. I think I would have been able to win this race quite easily if I didn't have my rule. Just diving on the inside of everyone, we're trying to go around the outside of Hulkenberg through there, and that worked, an absolute treat. That is not a long corner. I didn't expect that to work, but it did. Gaining time on Perez there through that last turn, being able to keep it very comfortably flat. Unfortunately, he doesn't defend, so we can't dive on his outside, but we're going to try for it anyway, see if we can stick around the outside here. Oh, lots of wheel spin, bit of contact. Of course, I have turned damage off again for this race, because that isn't the point in this series. The point in this series is to have some fun with some mods, not to be worried about your front wing all the time. And nicely on the outside of Perez there. It's much easier to overtake these guys when we've got a bit of a longer corner, because we can just hold it on the outside and just let the downforce do the work and not have to worry. It's the shorter corners that we really have to dive around the outside, which I think we're going to try that on colour signs up ahead now. We got DRS open, so we're going to do no ERS deployment, only standard fuel mix. Try not to overtake him, because of course he's sticking to the outside, so we can't do anything. We have to wait till he hits the brakes and then turns in, and oh, that was pretty close. We have dive on his outside, and that will do. That was a nice move, and again, had to be so patient there, because I wasn't able to gain on him down the straights because of my rule. So just had to wait for him to turn in, use a bit of curb, and then just avoid him and get on the outside of him. And here we go then. So here we get a few corners of a sample of just how quick this car can be. We have got Max Verstappen up ahead, and look at that. We're already almost on the back of him. A little bit of oversteer there. You have to be so quick to correct oversteer as well. You're just going that much quicker. You really have to be on it with correcting oversteer. And look at that. Look how much I gained through there. I could just turn it in, not worry, know it's going to stick. Thinking about going outside of Max Verstappen, but oh no, that's not going to work. Going to get some DRS though, so we're going to go on the outside of him to the next corner. We're still going to have to outbrake him on the outside here, get very late on the brakes, get it all turned in nicely, take our apex more or less, and that's another move done. Up to P6 now, then we've got Daniel Ricciardo, so don't forget we're now up against quick cars. We're no longer against backmarkers. Oh, a little bit wide there. As soon as you get onto the marbles, you really lose a lot of time. So yeah, these guys are quick. These guys have got good downforce anyway, but we have of course got more downforce. Double the downforce of a Sauber Alfa Romeo is more than the normal downforce of a Red Bull, of course. And open DRS, and again, we are going to go to overtake mode now though on ours, because the guy ahead has also got DRS. We don't want to lose too much time down this straight. This is our final lap then, so we need to try and win this race. We've got 5 cars to overtake, but they're all very quick cars. Dive around the outside of Daniel Ricciardo, and that will do. That was a Ricciardo-esque move, wasn't it? But round the outside. And again, I did not expect to make that move stick, I don't think, but managed to make it work. And up to P5 now, got Kimi Raikkonen up next. We're trying on the outside through the next corner. Just trying to hold it around the outside here, which we just about managed to do a bit of contact. We are going to take it up the inside now, just because we managed to make most of the move on the outside. We're going on the outside of Valtteri Bottas now as well. Again, didn't expect to make that one stick, but they just haven't got the grip. And look at that. Look at the straight line speed advantage Mercedes has got. I was using all of my toys there, using full rich mode, using full ERS deployment, and he was still able to pull away from me between those two corners. And Hamilton then, we need to have a nice clean overtake on him around the outside here, if we can, to have a chance at Vettel for the win. Outbraking him, but oh, I think we outbraked ourselves there. Yes, we've gone far too deep. We are still on the outside of Hamilton, but I back out of it because I want to be around the outside of this turn to guarantee I can go on the outside of him. Well, virtually guarantee, but oh wow, we've got on the marbles a little bit and compromised us to set up as our inside, but we're going to cut him off there and make the move stick. And I just want to try and get past Vettel now, hence diving over that curve, try and go on the outside through the final turn, but that's just realistically not going to happen. This next corner is flat, even with standard downforce. And there it is then. P2 of P20 from 20th to 2nd on the grid in 5 laps. That is incredible, but weren't quite able to make the win. Unfortunately, I would have quite liked to get the win in the bag, but wasn't possible. And there we go, and there's the fastest lap of 16.2, gets to 17.9, and I didn't have a single clear lap, so definitely could go a good 2 or 3 seconds quicker, I think, than Sebastian Vettel, quite comfortably, even in a Alfa Romeo Sauber. So there we go, and as promised then, I will now show you some clips of me driving the Mercedes with double downforce, just to show you the amount of power. And there we go, immediately past 2 people on the outside of that chicane there. And again, we're going to dive around the outside of Toro Rosso there, no problem at all, easily flat. And again, I think the straight line speed helps a lot as well, so just able to get right up alongside. But oh, outbrake them ahead hugely and have to dive at the inside. Didn't plan to do that, but didn't really have a lot of choice because they broke so early and I was about to smash into the back of them. I think I just wasn't prepared for how early they'd have to brake compared to how late I can brake. And again, just floating around the outside of Ocon there, just easy. This is why I use the Sauber, because I wanted to use Mercedes, but it's just too easy. You just float around the outside whenever you want at will. It's crazy, and it honestly, it feels incredible. I think a few of you guys have asked for these mods. I might have to start perhaps releasing a guide or perhaps some files of how you guys can mod this game yourself to do these sort of things I have in this video. Let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments, because I want you guys to feel this. This is incredible. The Mercedes with double downforce. We are going up the inside of Grosjean there just because we didn't have a lot of choice. We had a lot of straight line speed, and of course this is sort of an outtake really anyway. So I think at this point I was like, yeah, this is a little bit too OP. We're not going to be able to make a video on this. It's just going to be 2 laps overtaking and then 3 laps of me just driving off into the distance. So this is why I opted for the Sauber. And again, this is now Kimi Raikkonen, who is in a Ferrari, not a slow car, and still just able to dive around us outside. We're going to try it on signs now. And again, look at that. Wasn't even able to go flat through there because of the straight line speed. And no problems at all. Already up to P5. We've got Valtteri Bottas, our teammate, who again has got the exact same car as us, but for some reason AI just don't use the downforce. Not too sure why, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Going to try going on the outside of him here, get back on the power, and again, look at that. It just sticks. You just put the foot down thinking, oh, this is a bit risky, and it just works. And again, on the outside of the Red Bull there, oh, very nearly hit Vettel, and just not managed to get away with that, and Ricciardo does avoid us just about. That's cost us a little bit of time, though, so we are going to have to see what we can do down this straight, and it's going to overtake as deployment and rich fuel, just because we're not going to get in DRS, but, oh no, it's lap 3 anyway. Ricciardo isn't going to get DRS either, and he's very close to us. We're going to stick to our outside line, which we know we want, braking hugely later, and the guys up ahead are battling, which is going to allow us to close in. And look at that, we gained probably at least a second for those first 2 turns alone. And I will tell you, I did my very first lap actually using this mod I used the Mercedes in qualifying and was about 4 or 5 seconds quicker. Just having a dive around Verstappen there, but didn't manage to make it work, just spinning to the gravel. But anyway, we will leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I thank you for watching. Bye-bye.